right, you're still on to Morning Ride, and of course, the ride just keeps getting better by every inch all the way through. A little bit I was talking about, getting the best of life, through interventions of how organizations should go about their activities, most especially when they mark their events. And I just off camera, talking about the House of Assembly, a second anniversary of the 8th Assembly, how organized they were, as we mark the second year of the Civil Service Week, the Public Service Week.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of expectations. I had a lot of hopes that ordinarily this is how things, that is how it's supposed to be, with everybody being carried along in the system or in the process. So as we mark the Public Service Week, I look up to a more brighter service week by next year. If only the woman who is in charge now will just have a few people around her by way of think tank, because if she sets up a committee to actually drive the process, so okay, go and think for me, like as I speak with you now, the Ministry of Environment, will be coming up with an award any moment from now. And the awards are going to come in various categories. They're going to have the most cleanest capital, city, or rather headquarters. For example, Oshimili, Ifasaba is the cleanest. Or Akuku Igbo, that's in Oshimili North. Agbo in Ika Northeast, like that. They're going to have the cleanest headquarters, the cleanest banks, the most environmental friendly school, like that in that category. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
It's a ministry that is coming out with that, and they'll come out with an award. And so what has the commissioner done? The commissioner has gone into partnership with the private organizers. Okay, you think the think tank thinking for me, nominations are being drawn here and there. And at the end of the day, this weekend is going to be World Environmental Sanitation Day. So there must be a process where ideas are being brought forth together and do things that keep evolving over time.
Okay. Let's go to our papers this morning, please. Let's go to our papers. Let's leave this public week and see what.
We are still celebrating the
Yes, we'll see what they have in stock. We'll see what is going to happen.
So you mean after now we'll go to the other service?
Yes, we'll go.
Okay.
On papers this morning, we're going to begin with the Punch. The Punch newspaper has the screaming headline: President Tinubu commissions newly constructed A2 junction, Abuja-Lokoja Road to Pi Town today. And we have University of Calabar joins beneficiaries of OPA's 1.2 billion naira 10-year scholarship program. Pastoral crisis: 11 states embrace FG ranching plan as killings surge. Iran-Israel: petrol may hit 1,000 naira per litre as oil price soars. You can see the details on page 35. Okay, that's it on the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, away from the Punch newspaper, we have the Vanguard. The Vanguard, it's our next paper for review after the Punch. Vanguard. And just like what the Punch has, a paid full page ad going there, and by the side of the masthead, we have just one story. Insecurity. Tinubu orders action on insurgents and plateau killings. I think that's the major story there. Except otherwise, the full page has been bought as an advert.
Alright, that's it on the Vanguard. Our next paper for review is the Nigerian Tribune, which also has the same screaming headlines and the picture. 2027 controversy trails application to register ADA. That's the new political group. Controversy trails application to register ADA. The writer says no decision yet on party adoption, and this is said by Atiku. ADC national chairman disowns ADA. Says coalition's platform may be unveiled this week. You can get the details on page 22. Senate begins nationwide public hearings on constitution review. Alright, and details on page 22. And that's it on the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Okay, away from the Nigerian Tribune, the New Telegraph. Okay, the New Telegraph. That's one of the papers that does not have the full page there. I think the advert executive needs to work hard so that the federal government can over years patronize them. All right, I think they have more stories here, and just above the masthead, Bank of New York to deepen access to Nigeria's local debt market. And we also have stories by way of earboxes. Israel threatens Iran's top leader after missiles damage hospital and injure more than 200. That's on page 4. Alleged terrorism, federal government closes case against Nnamdi Kanu. Page 2. Rivers, public officials considered critical financial records. That statement of the sole administrator saying that now these are challenges that he's going to meet, obviously, and they've started unfolding as public officials conceal critical financial records. Food inflation, governors back federal government to dismantle illegal checkpoints. That's on page 3. Breaches, global scare as 16 billion Apple Google others passwords exposed. That's on the ICT. It's obvious that there's been a hacking there. Experts say records likely compiled by cyber criminals or white hat hackers. Advise immediate change of countersign and two-factor authentication. Okay, and below the photo speak. Terrorism, ECOWAS strikes deal with Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger on security. Military not an occupying force, says federal government. Okay, and alleged information court admits Senator Natasha to 50 billion naira bail. That's it on the New Telegraph this morning.
The Daily Times is our next paper for review. Daily Times, and the screaming story says INEC can't stop our 100 NEC meeting, and this is according to the PDP. Details on page 7. Top strip, we have Group 4's Gowon's account of 1967 Aburi Accord failure. You can get the details on page 11. Buying babies, the ethical stone around surrogacy and women's bodies. Details on page 15. Constitution review. Senate holds public hearing July 4 and 5 in geopolitical zones. On page 6, how gunmen kidnapped state judge E.G. Umukoro in Bayelsa. And this according to the eyewitness. I actually saw that video, that clips. Railway vandals jailed 3 years with hard labor. Details on page 7. And then we have FCMB. Okay, that's actually on the adverts lane. Alright, so that's it on the Daily Times.
I don't know why the Daily Times and the Guardian and Telegraph are not enjoying patronage of the federal government's largesse. Alright, the Guardian is the next paper for review. The Guardian has, by way of earpieces now, ECOWAS beep to champion democracy, security, and regional reform. APC is silent as PDP dismisses formation of ADA. Lamido differs with Nyam over Tinubu's rule in June 12th annulment. And below that, Israel-Iran war. Hope for Nigeria's trouble-free school outlooks as oil prices head to $80. That's on page 6. Someone to meet APC stakeholders ahead of local government polls. And we'll take the last story that says, Obi and Atiku decry rising insecurity as Tinubu Northern governors condemns killings. The bottom strip has this one simply put, Nigeria losing $500 million yearly to abandoned containers at ports. Zurich words. Pick up a copy of the Guardian.
Alright, Daily Trust is next. Says Plateau killings. Death toll hits 13 as survivors narrate ordeal. Death toll hits 13 as survivors narrate ordeal. The writer says victims buried in Mangu, Kwan and Pan. Okay, that's it on the Daily Times. We have a photo speak there of some projects. Yeah, governance and empowerment projects. You can grab a copy to peruse further.
Daily Trust. The Daily Independent is the next paper. Below the master, struggling banks face hurdles to navigate recapitalization. About 10 leaders under CBN watch for recapitalization risk. And we also have, on the flush left, PFA's record good showing on ROI in HI 2025 amid economic headwinds. And on page 7, federal government backs construction of $400 million solid mineral plant, eyes 10,000 jobs. How fiscal authority can raise revenue, cut borrowing by analysts. Presidency berates Lamido for saying Tinubu backs June 12th election. Page 7. Sarah asked Tinubu to seek ICC intervention in Benue massacre. ECOWAS chair Tinubu hands over to Sierra Leone Julius Bio. And that's what the photo speak is telling us all about that story. And below that photo speak, airline link increase in fares to price of jet A1 at 1,350 naira per liter. Say product more expensive in Nigeria than the United States. And the last, which is by virtue of bottom strip, PDP accuses INEC of plots to destabilize National Executive Council meeting. It's on page 5.
All right. And then our final paper will be on Showbiz Gists. It's actually new. We're going to take that, Showbiz Gists. A very dark man breaks silence after brothers call for prayers. That's the bigger story there. And then we have Ilbiz advises upcoming artists to focus on side hustle. And below we have Davido accuses Ibiza nightclub security of attempted attack. And lastly we have Odumodu Black, Blangones, rap beef. hits up online. They always have beef. I don't know why. All these celebrities, especially the musicians, they use songs to tell each other what they feel for each other. I don't know when their beef is going to end.
Which of those Nigerian acts or those are the international scene?
Nigerian.
No, and also those are the international scene too. You also have Tupac Shakur and Notorious B.I.G.
Well, I'm talking about Nigeria. I'm not going across.
No. What I'm trying to say is that
it's everywhere.
It's something that's synonymous.
Nigerian only is too much. You hear. You just tell your brother what you want to tell him with in your song. I don't know, but sometimes it's laughable.
It cuts across.
Okay. So that's it.
But the video does not sing like that now. The video gives
his own is just to praise his wife. And I love that. Yeah, the video I love. Okay, that's it on Paper Studio. You can grab a copy and then peruse further, or you can do e-copy.
Yes, e-copy.
Yeah, we'll go on a break. When we return, it'll be time for an export.
Alpha Delta people, in less than 22 months, Governor Bororo don show say im promise not be plenty talk with the full basket, not be cho with a more agenda, meaningful development, opportunity for all, realistic reforms, and enhanced peace and security. Progress don burst out everywhere. Im don upgrade over 500 roads, initiate over 300 new ones, and build plenty bridges wey dey connect our communities.
Every day when I dey reach here, my spirit dey jump. I'm already high because this bridge never tell for this sheriff